Hey, it's Mike Matthews. Any Gen Zers in the house? Any millennials? Any Xers in the house? Huh? Gen Xers? Boomers? Anybody? Hello? Any people of the super generation or the best generation or the greatest or something? The greatest, right? Generation? Are there any of the greatest generation still around? Hello there. Here's an interesting thing about Gen Z professionals that I found out from the people here at the Economic Times. That website / is that even put into print anywhere? Not sure. My name's Mike. Did I mention? It's Mike Matthews. Gen Z professionals prefer to not manage, but rather focus on developing their skills and doing their work to the best of their ability. The percentage of Gen Zs holding on to IC level roles are more than the rest. The traditional notion that career growth is only possible by taking on managerial roles is rapidly changing. So many young professionals today are declining management positions and recognizing that being a manager often means an increase in responsibilities. Oh no! Not only for their own work, but also to guide and support a team. And oh yeah, you get bugged on the weekend. The shift reflects a growing awareness of the impact that management roles can have on work-life balance, as they often come with added stress and reduced personal autonomy. Yes, as someone who is a manager, I have noticed, hey, I don't have quite as much personal autonomy. If I want to take a couple of days off, I got to notify everyone. Hold on, wait, I missed someone. Hello? The Pope? Yeah, I'm going to be out for a couple of days on my birthday. Thank you. Oh, wow. That's the only phone call you get where you get blessed at the end. Did I mention it's my birthday? Yeah, so let's go. We're going to hop into Café Anyway because I think they have a surprise party going on for me right now, and I got to act surprised. So best face on. Here we go. Oh, a balloon just floated out of the Café Anyway. That means there's lots of balloons for me to pop. Come with me and help me pop them. Let's go. Café Anyway. Welcome to Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hey, look, it's a cat. It's a cat right there. Rocky the cat is in the podcast video today.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
If you want to see. Hey, the cat just noticed, when you do a video thing. This is an audio podcast. The video thing is only supplementary, and you can see it on mikesdailypodcast.com if you scroll down to the link that's going to be found there that connects you to my Facebook page. It's only on my Facebook page. Because I think
Mike's Daily Podcast.
A podcast needs a video like a fish needs a bicycle.
Mike's
where'd I dig that one up?
Daily
That's interesting.
Podcast.
But that's really, I see no need. Why do I want to sit and watch people talk into a microphone? That's exciting as paint drying as that is. But I added a little bonus. I put the cat, Rocky the cat, and it's weird. I said the word bonus because at one point I had a cat named Bonus when I was a little kid. My mom had a video store for many years before she was a mom and pop video store back before the behemoth Blockbuster came in. Remember when Blockbuster was a behemoth? And it came in and put her out of business. But she ran this video store for over a decade. I would say close to 2 decades. And she did that. I would help her out sometimes. I was in high school and then later in college. But when I could, I would help her out. And she had something going on. I'm there running the video store. Oh, yeah. And somebody came in and said, hey, can you watch my cat for me? No, the answer to that is always no, unless you want a cat, because that's what ended up happening. We got a cat. And my mom that's right. She bought a house that day. She bought a house. She divorced her second husband and bought a house on the same day. And that day also got a cat. So we called the cat Bonus.
And here's today's podcast last picture.
The cat's name was Bonus. And I recently showed a picture to my cousin who visited us around that time. This was back in the 80s. I was still in high school. And I showed her a picture of Rocky. And she said, "Oh my gosh, that cat looks like Bonus." And so there you go. Rocky might be a reincarnated Bonus. Who knows? And anyway, he's a bonus to me. It's FF episode 2959, 2959. I'm Mike Matthews here at Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica. The picture is not of me in podCastro Valley, but of me at Pacifica. I think over at that beach. Pedro Point is what it's called. The late great Basil the Boxer actually was at Pedro Point, but on the other side from where this is. I only recently discovered this part of Pedro Point, so sadly, Basil never got to play around in this area. But see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. By the time you hear this, it will be my birthday, and if you want to wish me a happy birthday, I would be very honored. I know it's not going to happen. I'm not going to hear from anybody except for on Facebook, where Facebook tells you, "Hey, it's Mike's birthday. Click this and you can say happy birthday to him." And I love that. I get lots of happy birthday greetings that way, but never through the podcast, never through the phone number 510-228-4640. That's it. 510-228-4640. Cats love it when you rub the schmutz out of their eyes. They love that. Oh my gosh. And dogs do too. You want to be a dog or a cat's friend? Because they can't really do it. So you get the schmutz out and they're so happy. Yes.
Is that why you're bald, Mike?
Because I rub the schmutz out of cats' eyes? No, dummy! Hey, didn't mean to call him a dummy. That was mean. Completely uncivil. Here's another thing that's completely uncivil. It's a website called super.com. Now, part of my birthday is going to include staying at a hotel. Well, we found a really nice low price using super.com. My lovely lady friend got it for me as a birthday present. Well, this is messed up. Super.com doesn't tell you, yeah, you're getting this crazy low hotel price. What they don't tell you is, as part of the hotel price, they slap on, without you knowing it, a charge of $15. What's that for? Oh, yeah, you're part of the membership now. You got a membership to super.com when you purchased the hotel. Now, how we did not see this anywhere on the website. None of this was disclosed. So my lovely lady friend, she bought the hotel without getting dinged the $15.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
The $15 she got dinged later. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. And then she said, "Well, no, I don't want this membership." Well, it's too late. Now the $15 has been taken. Should have just blocked it. She couldn't. I think they just pulled it out of her account somehow. Anyway, Café Anyway, it's all messed up. And then she cancels the membership, and it does this annoying thing. And more of these companies are doing this, and shame on them. It's ridiculous. And I'm going to call them out whenever they do this on my podcast. That's what this is, a platform for me to call them out. And what they do is, as you're exiting, as you're saying, "I'm done," click here then. If you don't want to be part of this membership, click here. Okay, you click. And then it says, "Are you sure you really want to click out of this? Because if you do, you're going to miss out on this and this and this." Yes, I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm clicking out. "Wait a minute, Mike. Are you really sure? Come on, buddy." And does that about...
Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later.
It doesn't throw the Mr. Microphone at you, but it does do about everything else to stop you from canceling. Basically, guilting you to come back. And after clicking through about 15 things, you finally kill it. Now, I know that is similar to what Facebook does. If you want to leave Facebook, they do this stuff where they say, "Well, you're not really gone. We're just leaving it open that you could come back whenever you want." Like a bad breakup. And yes, I think that was a joke from that Nerdist guy. back when Nerdist existed. I don't think that exists anymore. As we go outside of Café Anyway, we bring in Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in PodCastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Rootabega. Chris Hardwick. Yes, I've been doing this podcast as long as him, but he quit. Oh, he tried something else, didn't he? He renamed a podcast, started a new Idiot or something. That's what he called it, I think. Anyway, Café Anyway. The point is, that was a fail. You should be proud. When you make a mistake, you should say anyway.
Anyway.
Like Café Anyway, and just realize it's a fail and move on. And you've learned from it. Mistakes are the only things you can truly call your own, said the great Billy Joel. And don't forget your second win and all that. Gosh, I heard that a lot when I was in high school. I think my junior year of high school, and there was a lot of cross country going on, and I was miserable because I was running way too much, and my body's not built for running. But hey, it was good. It was good exercise, good cardiovascular. That's probably why I don't run today. But that Blockbuster behemoth I mentioned earlier that knocked my mom out of business. She had to leave the video industry, but she loved renting out videos. She met so many cool people. And in fact, she introduced me to a couple that I'm still friends with today, even though she has passed on. And it was this fantastic experience. And really, what an achievement. She did it while she was a divorcee, raising a child. Well, I guess I was an adult by that point, or almost an adult. And she had the video store going. No, I was in high school. I was still I hadn't know how to drive yet. I guess I was underage. So yeah. She was raising me, is my point, as a single mom. And she did all that and ran a video store and dealt with the really
Mike
bad.
Is awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to a story from that guy. A story, because I'm from Canada all of a sudden. No, that's not how they talk. Sorry. But yeah, I'm going to get to a story from him, but in just a second. He told me some interesting stuff. Okay, but the thing is, my mom did all that. Oh, and the help was horrible. That's right. She had this one gal. She called her gal that would run the store. And she would flake on her all the time, come up with crazy excuses. This woman had probably 8 kids, none of them by the same father. And she really liked going to country clubs. Oh, I'm in my cool Nashville country music jacket because she loved country music. That's right. I worked at a country music radio station for over 11 years. Did the Hey Santa Fe Cafe. She used to call me all the time and request Neon Moon by Brooks and Dunn. But she would meet these guys at this country club, the Borderline, where a lot of military guys used to hang out. She loved military guys. And hey, horrible things happened at the Borderline. You probably remember about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit less. There was that horrible shooting. So sad. And I don't know if it ever reopened, but there was. I had a lot of fond memories that got messed up because of that thing. But it's a trap. I know it's a trap. You shouldn't get trapped by the bad memory. Some idiot messed it up for everybody. But I talked to at that bar, the Borderline, which was it was a bar / huge dance floor, and they played great music. And people danced and had a great time. I met Shannon Doherty there. That's right, the late Shannon Doherty. Talked to her very briefly. But yeah, that was in Thousand Oaks, California. But my point is, this help that my mom had, and my mom only took one day off, and that was Sunday, so she could go to the beach. And her hired help would constantly flake on her. Because she had like 5 kids. She had all kinds of stuff going on. So she was young and immature. So my mom would always have to cancel at the change her plans at the last minute. But it was when she finally retired and moved to Daytona Beach, she could finally go to the beach all the time. And the water's so much warmer because this was in Ventura, California, Oxnard, California, next to Ventura, where she would go to the beach when she had the video store, and that water's super cold because it's California, and it's cold here too, even though we're way up the coast, a good 8-hour drive up the coast or so. So she loved the ocean.
Makes music.
Daytona Beach oceans are so warm. They got all these manatees. Oh, it's Manatee Appreciation Month. Did you know? That's cool. And I'm done with that song. It is Manatee Appreciation Month. Okay. So the behemoth Blockbuster put her out of business. Then what put Blockbuster out of business? Netflix, and then later all the other streaming services. I think there's one Blockbuster left somewhere in Alaska or something. But Netflix, they're doing so well. They said that the Tyson-Paul fight was the most streamed global sporting event ever. That I got from Rob. 108 million people watched at least a minute of the live boxing match. For comparison, 210 million people watched, not streamed, this year's Super Bowl. So almost as much as the Super Bowl. Wow. Well, a little bit, half of as much as that saw the Super Bowl. But hey, to watch Netflix, you got to pay for it. To watch regular TV, I guess you got to pay for it as well. But my comparison, somehow Netflix is making more money off this deal. Although they do sell those ads on the Super Bowl for crazy amounts of money. So, yeah. Was that CBS that had it this year or Fox? It's always either one of those. At any rate, Beyonce, speaking of NFL games and whatnot, she is going to headline the halftime show for the next game that Netflix is going to host, or competition. Thank you, Chewy. Chewy is not on Netflix. He's only on Disney Plus, as far as I know, because Disney owns all the Star Wars stuff. And so the Netflix Christmas Day NFL special is going to feature her singing on the halftime show. And I'm saying goodbye to the people on the video right now because my phone's about to die. And finally, this little bit, and I know we're talking a lot of sports here, but here's the thing about the NHL, which Rob seemed to think was interesting. The average NHL team is worth, get this, $1.92 billion. Now, when people tell you stats like that, and if they just roll it off their tongue really quickly and they don't pause, then that kind of number just blows past you. So they'll say the average NHL team is worth $1.92 billion. When you hear it like that, you're like, what? It's just numbers. But when someone puts emphasis on it, then you go, oh, wow, that's a lot of money, $1.92 billion. Revenue multiples are now similar to that of Major League Baseball now with the NHL, National Hockey League. The related revenue last year was $6.3 billion. That is almost 9% higher than the previous season. And the reasons for the growing valuations... Valuations is a funny word. Okay. Was steady revenue growth, a hard salary cap, and league-wide revenue sharing system. A league-wide revenue sharing system apparently helps with growing a valuation somehow. And record national sponsorship revenue last season came in, bringing in about $250 million. And the record regular gate receipt revenue was about $2.4 billion. So let's see. The team valuations of note include the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're number one. They have $4 billion is the amount of money that they got. The LA Kings, they're at number 4. I remember them. I remember going to see some concerts where they used to play the Forum. And I saw Boston at the Forum, Rush, and Bryan Adams. And the band called The Storm opened for Bryan Adams. And The Storm used to be members of the group Journey. And And my friend and I waited outside of the Bryan Adams show. That's right. And another
What
Bryan.
was that all about?
I got messed up. President-elect. Does that mean because I failed, but I'm a big podcast star, that you're going to put me on your team? Give me one of your jobs that you want, that you're looking for to fill one of the positions. Because let's see, it looks like you got 3 media guys in there. You got the Oz guy, you got the Duffy guy, you got that other Fox guy. That's crazy. Anyway, LA Kings, they made $2.85 billion. Oh, and I see coming out of the Bryan Adams concert, out of the one way that the celebrities all left was through this one doorway my friend knew about. And we saw Brian Setzer. And Brian Setzer walks out with his wife, and his wife was someone that I knew from childhood because she was the daughter of a friend of my mom's. All comes back to my mom again. But they have since divorced, Brian Setzer, and Christine was her name. But I said hi to Christine and then really quickly said something to Brian, like there was a solo album he had put out before he did all his big swing stuff that I thought was cool. And he said, thank you.
Hey there, Mike. How are you?
And he said he didn't know my name and did not say, hi there, Mike. How are you? But he did say thank you. And then about a year later, maybe 2 years later, I actually saw Brian and Christine get married at a big wedding in Altadena, California. And I got to talk very briefly to Brian Setzer then as he was speaking to his 2 bandmates from the Stray Cats. Was it Lee Rocker and Slim something was the other guy? Slim Jim something, I forget. But the 3 of those guys were really cool. And then Brian jammed with a band called the Royal Crown Review. And yes, that was a fun time. That same venue, that same place was actually used in the movie Clueless to be the place where Alicia Silverstone lives. That mansion that was actually where they held the wedding for Brian Setzer and Christine, who they've since gotten married. Divorced, the opposite thing.
What is the matter with you?
I don't know how I got those 2 confused. And the other hockey team that makes a lot of money is San Jose Sharks, but they're at number 25, but they made $1.4 billion, LA Kings $2.85 billion, and the Toronto Maple Leafs $4 billion. So thank you to Rob Black for all that fascinating information. Hopefully it was fascinating to you. Look who is here right now. Wow. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing? I ride my horse today.
It's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
I still don't understand what kombucha is.
I'll explain that to you at some point.
I heard Brian Setzer went a little more country. He was doing that rockabilly thing, and then he went into like country world after he did the swing thing.
Yeah. He tried all kind of stuff. He's good at everything. He's a great musician. Fantastic. And
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
He's not in a spaceship, as far as I know, trying to get back, hoping the computer opens the pod bay doors. But he was in a band called, what was that band called that Robert Plant did for a while? The Honey Drippers. That's right. That they had a big hit with the song Rockin' Till Midnight. And then the cover they did of Sea of Love, that got big in the mid 80s. So yeah, Brian Setzer was in that band for a while. Hey, and of course the Stray Cats. And hey, look who else is here.
Oh my God, make the delicious root beer. Have some right now for your birthday. Oh,
wow, you're so excited. Okay, I'm going to have some of this right now. Oh, that's good. What's in it?
I put some ginger in there because ginger's good for you. It's an anti-inflammatory. Oh boy.
Yes, and at my age, I need some anti-inflammatories now and then. Thank you so much. And inflammatories.
Right.
That's my story. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for listening. Hey, real quick, you know, all that election stuff we're trying to put behind us, trying to move on, trying to think of better, positive things. But I want you to hear a Gen Zer talking about why the election turned out the way it did. And listen to how Gen Zers, who, unlike me, I'm a Gen Xer, they're a Gen Zer, how they talk so precisely how I talked a little bit in the last podcast about this, about how they hit every consonant and every vowel. And I don't know, is this just me or is this a real thing? Let's listen now and see and judge for this.
Here's a wild stat I saw in the Financial Times yesterday that would be enshrined in the Niels Numbers Hall of Fame. After the Democrats' loss on Tuesday, every governing party faced an election this year. All 10, from the UK to France to Japan to the United States, lost vote share. It's the first time this has ever happened, truly unprecedented. And while there are absolutely local factors at play, the one thing every country experienced over the past couple of years was inflation. So voters appear to have said, my life has gotten way more expensive. People in charge, you're fired.
Yes. See? Do you kind of see what I'm saying? How he's doing that? What is going on? I don't know. But yeah, all the incumbents, basically all around the world, they lost. So it did not look good for Kamala because she was considered an incumbent. No matter how she spun it, she was an incumbent. So the inflation had a lot to do with it. So perfectly summed up by Gen Zers. But why do they talk that way? I don't know. Here's a phone number to call me and to tell me why and to explain this all to me because I'm the birthday boy. Oh, and you can wish me a birthday as well at this number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
And with all things having to do with this show called Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame. Thank you for listening. We'll bring you another one soon, hopefully.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!